Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Fert and this is Fert Tech. We're going to talk about PHP and the basics. This is part 1 and you can find the code related to this demonstration and a live functional demonstration of the code in the links below in the description. So I want to start off by saying thanks for watching. Do appreciate. We're going to start off talking a little bit about the format on how the tutorial is set up here, and then just talk about a couple of really basic things, the echo statement, and just some basic comments. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, the first thing I want to show you is to point out this is the basic layout for the index for the tutorial page here. As you can see, we have each part of the tutorial listed here on the left with a link and the title. There is a link as well right here where you can go to the GitHub, and each section is labeled part1.php, and then of course there's some other related files in there as well. So let's start with part 1. Go ahead and click on that, and here you can see we have just a basic web page layout here. You can kind of see the next button and the last button. Last will take you back to the start. Of course, next taking you to the next portion there. Alright, so let's get talking about the beginning aspects here. One thing to note, the code that I've set out on the very top is just some styling stuff. You can ignore all that. And then there'll just be kind of a basic header format. What you're going to be looking for is I've kind of outlined the code sections for each portion. Each part kind of, if you will. So you can see we have this comment of these slashes here, and then of course the code that we want to talk about in here. So the first big thing I want to talk about here is you'll notice, well, you might see PHP in the title and you might be saying, well, hey, I see HTML here, what's going on? I thought this was a PHP tutorial. So hold on, don't get too excited here. Just so you understand what's going on, that's just the presentation. So the first thing I actually am going to open talking about with is how important it is to understand the role that PHP plays with a web page. So as you notice, if we go back to our code here, I'm using an echo statement. So an echo statement in PHP is basically like, well, I'm going to print this back, or I'm going to send this back to the browser. So whenever your browser, and I'm sure at this point if you're watching this tutorial, you probably have some idea of how a browser reads an HTML document and a JavaScript, and takes that, uses that to present the web page that then you navigate and use. If you don't already understand that, pause this video, go make sure you understand that first, and then this will make a lot more sense for you. So as you can see, I've just gone ahead and I'm sending back some HTML to the browser to create this nicely formatted page that I had showed you right there before, that you can kind of see with all the wonderful coloring and header and sectioning and whatnot there. So alright, what I wanted to show you here is that Echo's kind of neat. Not only can you send back HTML, but you can also send back JavaScript as well. So just like we do with any type of scripting, if you're going to do some inline JavaScript as we've done here, just basically create the script tag, apply the JavaScript code that you wish, and then of course close the script tag and you're done, followed by the semicolon there. So remember, whenever you're using statements in PHP, this is a big thing a lot of people miss in the beginning. When you're done with a line of code, you want to terminate it with a semicolon. That's a big thing. You'll see it over and over that I've been doing that. I kind of made a point to do a lot of these echo statements so you could really see, you know, if you wanted to, you could combine these all into one big giant one. But I like to break it up into smaller ones so it kind of makes it easier to pick out what you're what I'm talking about specifically. So you could do it whichever way you want. Usually it's better coding style to not have as many echo statements in here, in my opinion. So all I did here was just add a little bit of code here so that we could have a on-click reaction and throw an alert. So if we go back to our demonstration page here, check it out. And what do you know? There you go. PHP the Basics Part 1. Using Echo allows us to patch to HTML and JavaScript from the server to the client. Oh, look, a button. Let's click it. Oh, wow, look at that. You clicked me. So you can see not only does PHP allow you to do things and perform things on the server side, but it also allows you to pass back HTML and JavaScript to the client side, which is what we're on here with this browser. And of course, lastly, comments. So just remember there's two types of comments mainly that you'll see, the /* to start and // to close. Basically anything between these two now becomes a comment. So a comment being something that's not interpreted by the machine that's reading the code as code. They're interpreted as instructions that are only readable by the human operator, so the developer, if you will. Another one is the more common // that's going to do one line. So only on the line you see the // Anything that follows that will be a comment. So if I hit enter here and type something, this would throw an error because that's not a comment. Only if I hit a // One a little more obscure, you don't see as much. Some people favor this one. Usually you'll see this with more or less it'll be one way or another. Either they'll use a / or the hashtag symbol. Some people say, well, the hashtag symbol is only one character, so why would you use two characters? I guess it's kind of personal preference. And then, of course, just saying, oh, well, we can send an error log message simply by typing message. That's what we're just making a comment. So this is kind of a demonstration on how you would use a proper comment. So, okay, well, what are we doing here? Well, we're sending a message via error log. So I'll explain that a little bit more so you understand that later. But that basically concludes the tutorial here for the first initial basics. Anything you see down here, this is all going to be the HTML and JavaScript related to the buttons that you see down here that allow you to do the navigation. So you'll see those over and over again with the separate tutorials, and you can just go ahead and disregard that. So again, thanks everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the tutorial so far. Just kind of starting out here. We'll work our way through these as we go. You can catch me on Twitch. I do a lot of live streams there. We do live coding, competitions, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Follow me on Twitter, of course, all the social stuffs, and check out the rest of my videos. So thanks again, guys, and code for life.